So a few years ago, I almost lost my business to depression. And I remember it so vividly because I remember going to bed every single night with the intention of getting stuff done the next day, working, making progress, serving my clients, putting out content, and ultimately building my business. But every single morning I woke up with the same feeling in my gut, the feeling of disappointment, the feeling of shame, the feeling of lethargy, just lack of drive, every single negative feeling that you could possibly describe. I woke up with that in the pit of my gut every single day. And when I would sit down at my computer to work, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't focus. I was distracted. I was clouded by this just veil of sadness and these negative thoughts that were bouncing around my mind. And so every single day I tried to work, I would overwhelm myself with the disappointment of not being able to work. And I would go and watch YouTube and I would burn the rest of the day away. And it was destroying me inside. And that lasted for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I hated it. I did reach a breaking point though, because I honestly was starting to get to a point where I was like looking for a way out. Fortunately, my sister called me, she snapped me out of it. And that was a really pivotal moment for me where I really started to study the mind, emotions, philosophies, religions, ideologies around psychology and different psychological modes of thought. And what I really came to learn are a number of different principles that allowed me to escape that depression. And what I'm going to run you through in this video is one of those philosophies, or one of those, mental models. Now, that mental model that I want to run you through is the scale of emotions and the usefulness of different emotions and how to rise from lower emotional states to higher emotional states. Because I used to think that I could overcome my sadness with positive thinking and somehow get from here to here. And if you've ever tried that, you understand it doesn't work. If anything, it tends to bounce back and bite back and do more harm than good. So what you have to understand is that there is a scale of emotions, with the lower emotional states being lower energy states and the higher emotional states being higher energy states. Now, where different emotions sit on this spectrum is obviously up for debate. Everyone's going to have a different perspective on where they sit. But for the simplicity of this video, and for the sake of simplicity, I've really just summarized it down to these core emotions just to get the point across. So you're currently here. You're in a state of sadness. In order for you to get from sadness to a more productive state, even anger, but pride or being empowered, feeling driven, is that you have to climb this scale step by step. So think about it like this. Let me get my marker. If you're here right now, in order to get to the higher emotional state, you have to go through each level. So to get from sadness to these higher emotional states, you have to first stop off along the way, in this case to fear. So say, for example, right now, you're feeling sad, disappointed, unhappy, whatever it may be. You can get yourself to the next level of the emotional spectrum or the emotional scale by starting to conjure up feelings of fear within yourself. Fearing, what are the risks of not doing the work? What are the risks if you continue down this path? Try and conjure up a feeling of fear about what could happen if things stay the same. Once you're into a state of fear, you then want to transcend further into a state of anger, okay? So start to think about the situation and how much it frustrates you. How much does it frustrate you that you're not doing the work, that you're stuck where you are, that you feel the way that you do, that your life is the way that it is? You have to really conjure up feelings from fear to anger and get yourself charged up. Now, anger is the most useful negative emotion that we have, by far. Compared to depression, it's like orders of magnitude more useful, because when you're angry, you'll move, you'll take action, you'll go to the gym, you'll do the work you need to do. Whereas when you're sad, you just want to sit down and just not move, scroll TikTok, watch YouTube, and do nothing. Now, once you're into the state of anger, you're going to reach this middle point between the negative emotions and the more positive emotions. What you then want to do, again, continue climbing the scale. Use that anger to take actions that you feel proud of. Read some, 10 pages of a book. Go to the gym and take the anger out in the gym. Go for a run. Do something that you're going to channel the energy of that anger into in order to get yourself to that next level and get yourself into a state of pride. Once you're there, again, continue channeling emotions and channeling this feeling of pride into actions that are going to continue to allow you to feel more pride in yourself, more fulfillment in the actions that you're taking. Ultimately, you want to take virtuous actions that align with the person that you want to become, things that represent values like discipline and commitment and hard workship and whatever else, in order to get yourself up again into the scale of empowerment and anything beyond that. The principle I want you to understand from this video though is that you can only climb this scale one step at a time. You have to start from sadness and go to fear before you can go to anger, before you can go to pride, before you can get empowered and start executing from an empowered state. So You want to understand this scale of emotions, and if you are stuck in a state of sadness, you have to transcend firstly to fear, then to anger, then to pride, then to empowered, and you can keep moving up that scale, but you have to do it in this order, okay? So I hope that was useful. If it was, subscribe, check the link in the bio or in the description. I'll leave another video for you here, so check it out after this one, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.